After a dismal 2024-25 campaign, when all of Europe's attention was fixed on the clubs bound for the Champions League, few would have imagined Manchester United becoming the headline act of the transfer window. They had just finished 15th in the Premier League, no European football, no silverware. The most common question at the start of the summer was simple: where will Manchester United get the money to strengthen their squad? Most assumed the Red Devils would be forced to sell their best players, tighten the purse strings, and quietly watch as the rising powers of Europe stole the spotlight. But then, the rumors began, and with each signing unveiled, the shock grew. Matheus Cunha, Bryan Mbeumo, Benjamin Šeško, even bold moves for Gianluigi Donnarumma and Carlos Baleba. This was not a club retreating into the shadows. This was a silent revolution in motion. United's quiet and cautious demeanor was never a sign of decline. It was a calculated move. Under Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos' new leadership, the club was playing a masterful game of media chess. They allowed the world to believe they were strapped for cash, when in truth the reality was quite the opposite. It was a shrewd communication strategy, turning perceived weakness into strength and stripping away the external pressure that so often suffocates this club. Many assumed missing out on Champions League revenue would leave United financially crippled, forcing a summer of austerity. But the Premier League's financial fair play rules told a different story. The Red Devils could still post pre-tax losses of up to £141 million without breaking a single regulation. That's less room to maneuver than Chelsea, £300 million, Brighton, £295 million, or Manchester City, £292 million, but still the fifth highest in the league, above Arsenal, Liverpool, and West Ham. In other words, United's financial muscle remains very real. They've simply chosen a different approach, one that avoids flashy displays of wealth and keeps them from being overcharged in the transfer market. It's a clever, two-pronged tactic. First, by keeping their financial firepower under wraps, they deflect media frenzy and public scrutiny during a volatile transitional period. Second, by letting rival clubs think their budget is tight, they prevent sellers from slapping on ridiculous price tags. So far, the strategy has worked to perfection. Meanwhile, Aston Villa find themselves in the exact opposite situation. After losing to Manchester United on the final day and missing out on a Champions League spot, their financial hands are tied. Big-name pursuits, like a move for Marcus Rashford, are off the table, and as of now, they haven't announced a single eye-catching signing. The contrast is striking. In modern football, smart financial strategy and meticulous preparation can sometimes matter more than instant revenue. Manchester United, once prone to flexing their financial muscle in the chaotic post-Sir Alex years, have evolved into a far more calculated and disciplined operation. They know exactly where they stand, what they need, and how to make the most of what they have to gain a strategic edge. So when Benjamin Šeško turns down Newcastle, a club playing in the Champions League, to sign for United, or when both Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo openly declare their desire to wear the red shirt, another question emerges. Why? The answer isn't in current trophies, it lies in vision, in the seriousness of the project. Under manager Ruben Amorim and sporting director Jason Wilcox, United have built a detailed, convincing plan for the future. They don't just throw around promises, they present players with clear roles, tailored development paths, and a roadmap to success. Šeško was swayed by his connection with recruitment specialist Christopher Vivell and the prospect of becoming United's long-term main striker. Cunha and Mbeumo were both impressed by Amorim's decisiveness and crystal-clear blueprint from the very first meeting. These three transfers send the same message. Manchester United's pull has never truly faded. They remain a global powerhouse, a dream destination for ambitious young players hungry to prove themselves. They don't need the Champions League to sign stars. What they need is to show professionalism and a clear pathway to the top. Bryan Mbeumo called United his dream club without hesitation. Cunha, after one conversation with Amorim, made up his mind almost instantly. That's something money can't buy. It's trust, it's belief, It's the power of a project backed by ambition and a clear footballing philosophy. If past Manchester United transfer windows could often be described as impulsive shopping, then the summer of 2025 is nothing short of a revolution. Under Ineos' stewardship, every decision is now made through the lens of a system-wide vision and a long-term strategy. First, the leadership structure has been overhauled. Sir Jim Ratcliffe has focused on rebuilding the club's finances, cutting unnecessary expenses and investing only in high-impact projects. He saved tens of millions by streamlining staff, moving on players who don't fit the plan, and trimming operational costs. Omar Barada has stepped in as CEO, bridging the gap between sporting strategy and commercial operations, while Jason Wilcox and his scouting team have established a more scientific process, blending data analysis with on-the-ground scouting. They've even recruited Michael Sansoni, a data expert from Formula One, to boost their analytical firepower, a clear signal of how seriously they're integrating technology into football. Second, their transfer strategy is now sharply defined and highly targeted. United only sign players who genuinely want to join. No more bidding wars for the sake of ego. They know how to exploit contract situations and the financial realities of other clubs. The Matthias Cunha deal is a perfect example. Rather than overpaying early, they waited until Wolves needed to cash in to balance their books. By striking at the right moment, United secured their man at the right value, reducing negotiation pressure and speeding up the deal. Every signing fits into Ruben Amorim's high-pressing philosophy. Cunha brings pace and relentless pressure from the front. Mbeumo adds unpredictability on the right. Šeško represents the future of the attack. It's a recruitment plan built with cohesion and precision. Third, the club is investing heavily in infrastructure. A £50 million upgrade to the Carrington training complex underlines Ratcliffe's long-term vision. To make it one of the most modern, player-friendly facilities in Europe, providing the perfect environment for development. Plans are also in motion for a new £2 billion stadium. The concept of a Wembley of the North would not only transform the entire Old Trafford area, but also create tens of thousands of jobs and deliver steady revenue for the local community. It's a project with both immense financial potential and deep social significance. Manchester United's transfer window could be truly complete if they manage to secure the final two pieces of their puzzle. First on the list is Carlos Baleba, a modern midfielder bursting with energy, physicality, and defensive steel, yet capable of sparking attacks. Seen as the long-term successor to Casemiro, Baleba would slot seamlessly into Ruben Amorim's 3-4-3 or 4-2-3-1 system. Yes, he may miss up to 6 matches while representing Cameroon at AFCON 2025, but his long-term potential far outweighs that short-term absence. The second target is a new goalkeeper, with Gianluigi Donnarumma at the top of the wish list. With his PSG contract running down, a transfer fee of around £30 million represents a rare opportunity to upgrade a position that caused constant debate last season. In both quality and stature, Donnarumma would be the perfect replacement for Onana, bringing stability and authority between the posts. The summer of 2025 at Manchester United is not the flamboyant spree of a nouveau riche club. It's the calculated rise of a giant in the midst of rebirth. Backed by a professional leadership team, a shrewd financial strategy, and a long-term vision, United have transformed the disappointment of a 15th place finish into a strategic advantage. They are no longer burning cash for short-term thrills. They're rebuilding from the ground up with organization, strategy, and commitment. Only time will tell if Amorim's project delivers the success it promises. But right now, United have forced the entire market to take notice. A club that finished 15th last season is suddenly making transfer waves that have the whole Premier League on edge. And if anyone still dares to think Manchester United are finished, the summer of 2025 delivers the clearest answer possible. Never, ever underestimate Manchester United.